What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jake and Bake here, coming at you with my first ever YouTube commentary video. The gameplay you see behind you is going to be some hardcore domination on Call of Duty Ghosts on the map Strike Zone. I had a pretty good decent game in here and thought it would make for some good watching while you listen to the commentary and provide some feedback. So a little bit about myself. I'm currently in the United States Navy, stationed in Washington State. I have only a few passions in my life, one of which is would be video gaming, obviously, and the second would be sports, and that's what most of my videos are going to be pertaining to, the latest sports information. You know, whatever the sport may be. What I mainly like talking about are baseball, football, and basketball, just because I played those sports growing up. I have a deeper and better understanding for those sports from a technical standpoint, from a rules standpoint, and those are just the sports that I personally like watching. I don't deal a whole lot with anything else. I keep up with golf and during the majors, but not any really other time. I don't do NASCAR or NHL at all. I do watch UFC, since that's starting to become something that's covered as a sport, and I enjoy watching it, so I will have some UFC stuff to talk about, but not something that I'm really huge into. But yeah, so that being said, I'll get into my first topic. I want to talk about the rule change that's possibly coming from the MLB to ban home plate collisions. Personally, I played baseball my entire life. I was a catcher for most of my baseball career. I played baseball all the way through high school and in college a little bit before I joined the Navy, and I think this rule change is an absolute travesty to the sport. I understand the concern for player safety. They're kind of taking a page out of the NFL's rule book with the whole concussion thing, which is a whole nother topic that we can talk about later. But I just don't understand the concern here. Looking back in history, there have not been many significant injuries involving home plate collisions. One that you can obviously think of right off the bat, for me, would be the Buster Posey injury a couple of years ago, where he broke his leg and tore 3 ligaments in his ankle. Obviously, a very serious injury, put him out for the entire season. But he was able to recover and has, been playing very well at Buster Posey level since the injury. Other than that, I can't really think of anything that has been a major injury involving a home plate collision. I mean, this is one of the things that it's one of the most exciting plays in baseball, when you have a play at the plate in a close game. The runner's coming in full speed, the catcher's bracing for the shock. He moves up the line to kind of protect the plate a little bit, and all of a sudden, wham, there's a huge collision right as the ball gets there, and then the catcher comes up with the ball, and everybody's, for the home team or whatever team, screams because it was just such an exciting moment in the game. And now that is going to be totally taken away, I feel like that is something that is not going to benefit the sport from a fan aspect. I mean, let's be honest, baseball is not the most exciting sport to watch, especially on TV. People go to baseball games at the actual ballparks because for the experience. It's a good time. The food at the ballpark is phenomenal. I mean, in my opinion, I love ballpark food. Love the atmosphere of the game, especially when it getting close to playoff time or during a rivalry game. In my opinion, there's nothing better. But on TV, not a lot of people watch it. It is a very slow-paced game. There's not a whole lot of action sometimes. Nobody likes watching a pitcher's battle. There's just not enough excitement, and now you're going to take out one of the most exciting plays in all of baseball for, in my opinion, something that's hasn't been a big issue over the last decade, or really in the history of baseball. This is something that one of the most iconic plays in All-Star Game history was Pete Rose running over Ray Fosse in the 1970 All-Star Game. I mean, it's literally the one thing you point out when you're talking about playing hard and hustling to young kids, is you show them the video of Pete Rose running over Ray Fosse. and I know Ray Fosse actually suffered a separated shoulder in that collision, and a fractured bone, I believe. But he was able to play for the better half of the second half of that season. So, I mean, it wasn't a huge injury, not like a Buster Posey injury where it was a season injury or a career-threatening injury. He was still a very successful catcher after that, won the Gold Glove that year and the next year, despite that collision at the plate. And I think that the All-Star Game is a phenomenal event. I love the excitement that particular play brought into that All-Star Game because, the All-Star Game is basically like an exhibition game where you take the best players around, you put them all together. Not everybody tries real hard. It's mainly putting on a show for the fans. You got the home run derby. Now you have the celebrity softball game that happens before the All-Star Game takes place. There's all that fan aspect, but from a players aspect, it's one of those things kind of like the Pro Bowl in football. Everyone goes. It's always a high-scoring affair. There's not a whole lot of hitting going on. I know Laron Landry a couple years ago smashed, I don't even remember who the quarterback was, and gave him a concussion, and there was a huge deal about that, and everyone compared it to the Pete Rose collision in the All-Star Game. But for the most part, the players, it's just a relaxing time and a time for the players to, really just have some fun. And back then, when the All-Star Game didn't mean that much, it gave a level of excitement to the game. Now, people actually, want to perform during the All-Star Game because, that means home field advantage in the World Series. So it gives meaning to it. And I love that that's a change that they made. One of the better things that Bud Selig did during his time as commissioner of baseball. I don't like the fact that the All-Star Game can end in a tie. I think that's stupid. Ties like kissing your sister. That being said, I don't think tying in an NFL football game after one overtime should be allowed either. I think that's stupid. But back on to the point with the home plate collisions, it's just it's an exciting play. You need those exciting plays in baseball. You need that feel because, like I said, the game is not that fun to watch on TV. It just really isn't. As much as I love the sport and love playing it and love watching it, not everybody feels the same. So, like I said, I understand the view of player safety from the MLB, but then again, I don't because there hasn't been a huge history of significant injuries from home plate collisions. And I know everybody that I have talked to, every single person I have talked to that has ever played baseball in their life, thinks that this is a rule change that should not be implemented. I mean, you're taking away a huge aspect of the game. I mean, it can be a game-changing play. Somebody comes in and they truck the catcher, he drops the ball, you tie the game or take the lead, and, it's a huge momentum swing. It's a big adrenaline boost for your team. And like I said, I was a catcher. I have experienced being run over and trucked by opposing players, even though in my time playing at my level, that was not allowed. You actually would get ejected for running over the catcher. I personally have never done it because, like I said, I would have gotten ejected. But I have had it done to me on a couple of occasions, and man, does it really get your adrenaline pumping as a player. And, the fans get into it, especially at that level when it's not allowed. And, one time it happened, both of the benches cleared, players were ejected, coaches were picking players up and carrying them back to the dugout. And that is one of my most fond memories from my ball playing days is, the guy that trucked me. And I suffered a slight wrist strain from it, but nothing that kept me out for any period of time. I mean, I was playing the next day, the very next game of a series that we were playing. And, it motivated us as a team to play better and increase the rivalry game, and it was just an awesome moment. And now they're thinking about taking that away completely in the major leagues. It could work. It really could. Like I said, at the high school level and the little league level, even at the college level, they don't allow players to truck the catcher, and everything seems to work out fine there. But it's a simple fact that that's been a part of the game since the game's beginning in the major leagues, and I don't think that that's something that you need to be tampered with. That basically sums it up, guys. Had a lot to get out there in a short time to get it out, so please leave a comment, a like, hit that subscribe button if you want to, and please leave comments, send me a message on Twitter at xxjakeandbakexx, and let me know what you guys want to talk about next. We can talk about anything, the NFL concussion policy, what's going on right now, Super Bowl, playoffs coming up, bowl season in college is coming up, NCAA basketball. Just let me know what you want to talk. Give me your feedback on this topic. Let me know what you think. I'm always excited to hear other people's opinions. Love talking to other people about sports. Like I said, it's my passion. And, yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the gameplay. As you can see, I had a pretty awesome game. It's my best game kills-wise so far in Call of Duty. So, yeah, until next time, guys, y'all have a great time. And Jake and Bake out.